Go Blue, beat Ohio. Next on Michigan Wolverines Live.
You guys should check out the Michigan Wolverine Live. They're out here doing great things, doing great podcasts, great live shows. They're really just doing their thing, help them blow up.
And welcome to another episode of Michigan Wolverines Live, episode 176. Today's Tuesday, November 26, 2024. My name's John D'Adamo, and I'm going to be your host for the next hour and a half or so. I want to encourage everybody as you join in, hit that like button, subscribe, share with a friend. It just takes a second to hit that like button. We are broadcasting all kinds of places. We're broadcasting on YouTube. We're broadcasting on the Ohio State channel. We're broadcasting on Twitch. We're broadcasting on X. And now Apple, Spotify, Amazon, iHeart, and Deezer, which I still need to look into what that actually is. Also, as you might know, we have a ton of content to cover today. Ohio State preview, recruiting, Bryce Underwood. Hey, by the way, Bryce Underwood has committed to Michigan, so how about those apples? We've dedicated 17 hours of content in the last couple of days to that, but very exciting. Hit that super chat with your comment or question. And then to help us, as always, with the ever-popular Kenneth Grant tracker as we climb up the ladder to the Miami channel at the Voice of College Football, we got my partner in crime, co-host, TJ Ronin in the house, pulling 17, 18 hours the last couple of days, doing the maize and blue right. And I'm glad you're here.
Bro, it's been a hell of a weekend. I think we've done 20 plus hours in live shows. So shout out to the community for making that happen. And, it's great to be a Michigan Wolverine, John. That's all I can say.
Absolutely.
Doing pretty well over here.
Yes. Go Blue. And you see some of our members giving us some love here. Go Blue from Marmar, Nate Mogg, Newber says Go Blue. We got Chris Carter in the house, one of our members. Jason with a very, very strong prediction for the Michigan Wolverines. Love that. So why don't we look at our friend Kenneth Grant as he comes ever closer to the Miami channel I lost it, but we are 500 away as we pull it up. We are 500 away from actually catching the most popular team channel, and we're one extra away, so 501 approximately, from being the most popular team channel in the Voice of College Football Network. There it is. Boom.
It's beautiful.
500
man.
away.
Not satisfied. We got 500 more to go. So if anyone is unsubscribed, you're watching the show, you're checking us out, give us a subscription. Greatly appreciate it. We have just 500 more, John, and then we are the number one channel in the Voice of College Football Network, as it should be, because we are number one in NIL. We are number one in all-time wins. We're number one at beer pong. And we are the number one university in the world, period. Shout out to Dave Portnoy, by the way. And subscribe for Jolene as well as Dave Portnoy. Shout out to them. They are the superstars this week at Michigan, along with Bryce Underwood. Let's get a dub this week. How about that, homeboys? Let's get a dub.
Let's get a dub, and congratulations. So Detective Loki has been stepping up to the plate with memberships in big ways, including my girlfriend. Courtney got a membership, and now today, Donovan has received 33 days of Those Who Stay Will Be Champions membership. And we were talking, TJ and I were talking offline, and I'm pretty sure we're going to do a second entire ticker and alternate between them, because we have more than 200 members here at Michigan at the Voice of College Football. It's absolutely incredible.
220 members. We have exceeded the character limit. StreamYard needs to get it together. Okay. Yeah. StreamYard needs to get it together. We have members, their names need to be on the ticker, John. So we got to figure it out. We may have to run a second ticker, which it's a good problem. We'll say that.
Yep. I mean, it's getting to the point where our members only streams on the third Monday of every month are like a regular show. Whereas before it was like 5, 6 people shooting the shit. Now it's like any other show, it feels like. So join into the party. It's a great time on the membership program. And finally, before we bring in JR for the Ohio State preview, we do want to thank our friends at the Win Agency Health Insurance. Okay, so we actually they have created a brand new video in honor of it being Thanksgiving. So let's check that out right now.
Hello, fellow Michigan fans. With Thanksgiving around the corner, the team here at Win Agency would like to extend a huge thank you for all your support this season. The voice of college football community has been incredible, and we're thrilled to be part of it. We're especially thankful for TJ, John, and all the fans who have made this community so incredible. Open enrollment is ending soon. Please feel free to reach out to Win Agency for all your health insurance needs. Go Blue!
How about that?
Shout out to Win Agency. Appreciate them. I think January 1st open enrollment ends. Contact Win Agency. The website's on our background. Phone numbers on the background. Reach out to them. See what they can do to you. They are the best in the business. Give them a call.
Absolutely, great folks, great people, and thank you so much. And then let's put the link right in the chat in case anybody wants to check out that link. And now, without further ado, we saw this past Saturday maybe a ray of hope with Michigan putting a 50 burger against, admittedly, a Northwestern team that's probably going to miss a bowl. But still, they have been playing teams tough, and it looks like that there might be a ray of hope. So let's see what show host, Ohio State voice of college football. We got JR in the house, taking some time out of his schedule to come join us for a special episode previewing the game. JR, it's great to have you here.
Thanks for having me here, guys. I'm having a good time. I think you guys are probably having a good time too. Michigan State's about to lose in basketball, so it's feeling good for you guys tonight, I'm sure.
Hey, fuck those guys. That's absolutely true.
It's been a hell of a few days, JR. We'll take some more good news.
I figured you'd like that, TJ.
So JR, this has obviously been an interesting season, right? For all involved. I don't think. Obviously, I think Ohio State is about maybe where we thought that they'd be in terms of one loss on the record. I was thinking preseason 0-1 losses, and but the Michigan side not quite what I was predicting. I had Michigan at 10-2. Well, then reality sunk in a little bit, but you got to throw the whole book out with this game, right? You never know what happens. And obviously Ohio State significant favorite, 20.5 point favorite, in Columbus, big noon kickoff. JR, first thought about this matchup, what it means to you, what it means to Ohio State.
I wish it meant no more noon games because we've played 5 in a row at this point. I'm just like, oh my gosh, like help me out here. Let me watch something when it's dark outside and not when it's light outside. It does help that the skies are gray in November during midday, so it's not.
Jared, that's like blasphemy though. So I want a night game too. I think it'd be epic, but like there's so many people. I don't know how the Ohio State fan base is, but on the Michigan side, it's tradition, JR. You can't move it from noon. Like, how do you feel about that? Is that a strong opinion on the Ohio State side, or?
It is. I personally would be okay with 3:30. It was played at 3:30 before, and in fact, the tradition wasn't even noon. Going back to way back when, it was like 1 or 1:30 or something like that. So, I always like when it was, I always like games that kind of start when it's light outside and they get darker. But that's just me. I know there's a lot of people.
I agree.
The tradition of noon, but anyway, I mean this game, guys, it's everything for the season, right? I mean, you can have an undefeated season, but you lose this game and people are calling for the coach's job. It doesn't matter which side it is. It doesn't matter what's going on. Like, if you lose this game, like it's your career, it's your legacy, no matter what school you're at. So, I mean, coming down to it, you want to beat, for you guys, the guys down south, for us, the guys up north, and just take them down. It's when I live back in Ohio, I don't quite live it as much as I used to now that I live in Indiana, but still a little bit to a certain extent. When I lived back in Ohio, it was the defining game for if you were allowed to wear your colors for a week or not. You know, like if you wore your colors the next week, you know, you were going to get ridiculed. You were going to have people talking about your team and how much they stunk and yada, yada, yada. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like this game means a lot to a lot of different people. And I've discovered throughout the years, it kind of means something a little bit different for everybody, but everybody wants to win it.
Absolutely. TJ, what say you on the Michigan perspective?
Yeah, I have an interesting perspective, and I know our boy Garrison's in the chat. We were going at it earlier today. You know, my opinion on what this game is, I mean, obviously, look, this is the game. It's the greatest rivalry in sports, period. We know this. And it does matter, okay? Like, we have, in Schembecker Hall, it says, what are you doing to beat Ohio State today? We have a drill literally called the Ohio State drill. Beat Ohio drill. The beat Ohio drill, right? There's no doubt about it. But I think, and maybe I'm a minority here in terms of my perspective, but I feel the fan base, week 2 was a reality check for our fan base against Texas. And then we realized where the team was. And I just feel heading into this game, there is a little less juice because our fan base is we know it's a down year. We know that the team, it's a rebuild year. We know that they're getting their stuff together. So it doesn't, and we're coming off of a natty and we just got the Bryce Underwood news. We have so much hope for the future. It doesn't take away from the game. Cause like, I think when me and Garrison were going at it earlier, he kind of thought that was saying that. It's just, there's so much good. This game isn't gonna kill me. Like, I'm not gonna be upset about the outcome. Now, granted, I want to win, but I don't need to win. And I know there's probably some Buckeyes who are like, what? Do you feel, JR, you need to see, here's the thing though. And I had a post on my social media about this. When you haven't had water in 3 years, a drop of water is everything. And this win, this Saturday for them is everything. And I just feel like our fan base isn't quite there this year. But it doesn't take away from the game. It's still the game. But I don't know. For me personally, John,
yeah,
there's so much good stuff going on right now. I'm just here to observe it, man. I'm here to let it ride, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, look, I think Michigan's playing with house money, right? Michigan's won the last 3 years, won a national championship, and just secured the #1 recruit in the entire country for 2025, with indications, as we'll tell you later in the show, some more very soon to follow. And so I think that Michigan has the opportunity to do something hilarious. They do, because there is a possibility, and I'm putting it at 10% likely. I think Ohio State's going to win the game. But there is, what I saw with Northwestern is that Michigan finally has the ability. I know it's against a team that is not going to make a bowl, but they've been playing people tough. And the fact of the matter is, like, a 50 burger is a 50 burger. Michigan hasn't had one of those in a while, right? Even against the Cupcakes. So there's hope, but I think it's going to be an uphill battle. And yeah, we start with, as we look at the offense versus defense, which is definitely interesting to look at the NCAA listings on all of these. But obviously, Ohio State's offense has been dealing with some holes, right? McLaughlin goes down at center, replaced by Hinsman. Just some things that they're working on in the line. But you got, JR, you have maybe one of the most explosive wide receivers I've ever seen. Basically, freshman, but still, everybody was like, can he replace Marvin Harrison Jr.? I think that the answer is yes. He's replacing him quite well. But against Michigan's defense, that could be even though Ohio State has the weapons advantage, that line play, what do you think about the line play and overall, but definitely line play? I'm very curious as to your thoughts there.
Yeah, I mean, it'll be the toughest test that Ohio State's seen all season. Indiana has a good defensive line, but it's nowhere near what you guys have. You guys have two NFL talent. One is a for sure first rounder. The other one, I think, is a first rounder, but I've also seen some other people say maybe not. So, I mean, I think he is. We'll see what happens in Kenneth Grant, but kind of at that point gets to like the scores or whatever at the combine, which, whatever, maybe judge them on the field, not what they do with their numbers. But that's just me personally. But anyway, yeah. So, I mean, at the end of the day, like, if this offensive line is going to have a bad day, if it's going to be the Missouri game all over again, we're in trouble. Point blank. If it's going to be the Missouri game all over again, it doesn't matter how good your wide receivers are. It doesn't matter how fast your quarterback is. If Will Howard is living Curtis Rourke's life, just last week, it's not going to be good for him. You have two really good running backs in Quinshon Judkins and Trevion Henderson. They've been hitting the backfield the past 2 weeks a little bit more than maybe I'd like for them to be. Now, they are both very elusive, very strong, so they've been able to get out of some of those tackles and break them and get 5-6 yards, something like that instead. So we are definitely thankful for that. But at the end of the day, if you don't open up the holes and there's no place for those guys to run, you're gonna have to figure something else out. And thankfully, I think Ohio State has the answer to have these long sustaining drives that kind of wears the defense out. I think that the defensive line for the team up north is going to do much better at the beginning of the game. I think the first 2 or 3 drives, you're going to see the offensive line for Ohio State, I wouldn't say struggle, but not win as much as you guys' defensive line does. But I could see toward the second half, toward the end of the first half, maybe some more running lanes open up. Maybe Will Howard has a little bit more time back there to throw the ball. And I think that they'll start going to the screen game a little bit early, just to try and spread things out, just to try and make those guys run a little bit more. Because at the end of the day, like, I know Benny's a pretty good defensive tackle as well, but there's not, at least from what I've seen, you guys might think differently. From what I've seen, there's not much depth behind Benny that's going to come in there and do much better than Graham or Grant. So my opinion is, first 2 or 3 drives, we'll see what happens, but hopefully they'll tire him out after that, and that's what Ohio State's going to have to do.
Yeah, I mean, for me, this is the matchup that's going to decide the game. Because if Michigan can exploit, one thing JR didn't really hit on is 2 of their top offensive linemen are going to be out for this game. Is that right? JR?
Yes. McLaughlin and
Right.
Simmons are not coming back all season.
Right. So, this is an opportunity to exploit a weakness with an offensive line that already had its concerns this year, right? So this is where Michigan can make Will Howard uncomfortable, can get him off rhythm, affect his timing, hopefully limit Ohio State not to 7, but 3 if they do get down the field, limit drives, get off the field early. If Michigan's going to win this game, this matchup between this offensive and defensive line is going to be the key to that. So I'm excited about that. One of the concerns for me is Will Johnson playing? There's reports he might try to play. There's reports he won't play. So I don't know the answer to that. That's going to matter, right? I feel better with Will Johnson out there than without Will Johnson out there. So those are the things I'm looking for. I think our linebacker play has been improving by the year. I think, we know. Listen, I'll say this too. And Garrison's gonna love this. Will Howard's been impressive, man. Like, his career completion percentage, what it is this year, is at 74%. Like, he's really upped his game, man. Like, he's really, and I know he's surrounded by a lot of
JJ
talent,
numbers.
Right. He really, yeah. Like, when you start touching like 75, you're essentially elite at the college level. 75 or higher is like elite. So, to have 26 touchdowns and 6 interceptions, Will Howard's playing really well. And I'll be real. Going into this year, I was like, he's to me, he was like an above average quarterback who can get you to win. But no, he's playing like one of the top quarterbacks in college football. So, so that's, and then obviously we know the wide receiver situation. They're loaded at running back. So yeah, this is going to be the matchup that I think decides the game. We'll see. Will Johnson can play.
I will say one more thing. The talk has been the 2 new offensive linemen in their spots. Obviously, Donovan Jackson a couple weeks ago moved over to left tackle, and the new left guard, Carson Hinsman, moved over to center with Seth McLaughlin going down. Austin Sirevelt, the left guard, he is actually arguably the strongest player on the entire team with what he's been able to put up in the weight room. So there's actually less concern, at least from me, about Austin Seyerveld. The bigger concern most of the season has been the right guard. If you watched against Indiana, he was the one getting pushed back by CJ West more than really anybody else on that offensive line was. So even though we have 2 new guys there on the interior, it's that right guard, Tegra Shabola, who is a man. I mean, he's huge. He can do it. Just every now and then in games, he gets pushed back a little bit too much and, gets put into Quinshawn or Travion's pocket, and they have a hard time running around him.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's going to be. I mean, TJ, I think you're spot on, because the other matchup is a complete and total mismatch, and so the defense is really going to need to show up. And yeah, look, I'm not expecting Will Johnson to play. If he does, obviously, let's all have a freaking parade, because he might literally add an entire interception on his own, and really that could be a difference depending on how the turf toe situation's going.
Yeah.
I don't expect him to play. I think he's shown quite a bit already against Marvin Harrison Jr., against Adunze, some of the top wide receivers in the world. And he defended against them pretty well. But if he does show up, if he is able with the turf toe situation to get onto that field, that does change the game a little bit. Yeah, go ahead.
Look at the USC game. I mean, look at the USC game. He's the difference in that victory.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and just a couple of super chats real quick. Wolverine Casual says, losing the game last year would have killed me. Oh yeah, it would have killed me too. And it was damn close. Way too close for comfort.
That one, and that would have been we would not have lived that one down, because the whole Connor thing going up to it, like that was a serious game, man. We had to win that one.
Absolutely. And Weekly Wax with the 5, as a Michigan fan living in Ohio. Oh, good Lord. That must be rough. It's like the opposite of Sean Garner. It's like reverse Sean Garner. The overall mood of OSU fans here is confident, but extremely nervous. If they lose this somehow, they will implode. I don't know about all that, but I do think Ryan Day feels the pressure a little bit of this game.
Let's ask JR. I mean, so what is your mood going into this game, man?
Yeah.
I'm cautiously confident. I feel like it's going to be a battle the very first quarter, maybe into the second quarter. I think it could be a 1-score game at halftime. And then I think, with the way Ohio State's been able to play in the third quarter, they should be able to come out and do much better by then. But it's one of those situations where, if you guys go up 7-0, like Indiana did, I won't like it. But at the same time, I'll be like, okay, this is also kind of what Ohio State has done all season. Their stupid slow starts where they just decide they want to play football after the first quarter,
Right.
which is annoying to all of us Ohio State fans. But
I bet.
you know what? They've won their game. In the one game where they started out fast, the one game in Oregon where they started out fast, that's the one they lost. So maybe they just need to play 3 quarters from now on. Who knows?
Yeah. Fair.
So let's dive into an incredible mismatch here. So offense, Ohio State offense, Michigan defense, relatively even with some strengths on both sides. This one, on the other hand, holy shit! When I actually saw this, when I saw that Ohio State's defense was number 1 in the country, I was like, in previous years, it might be the other way around. The offense would be number 1 in the country. The defense would be 28th. In this case, it's flipped. And credit to Knowles. Credit to bringing in Caleb Downs and all these others to really solidify it. But Ohio State's going up against a Michigan offense led by Davis Warren, who has been obviously hit up and down, but has had his moments. He giveth and he taketh away. JR, what do you think of this matchup, and how does Ohio State's defense need to neutralize what Michigan does, especially in the run? Because I feel like the run is really where Michigan can get out with Kalel Mullings and some others. So how could Ohio State's defense match up, you think?
I think Ohio State's defense will be fine for the most part in the run. I think Caleb Downs and Lathan Ransom at their core are both run-stopping safeties. You have Sonny Styles playing much better this season. Cody Simon really become more of the blitzer the past couple weeks, but he's still good and run defense as well. And Jack Sawyer, JT Tuimoloau, they're both two guys that, struggle with the speed rush a little bit more than maybe some Ohio State fans would like, but they've been solid in the run game. Really, it's been when quarterbacks can run when Ohio State's had their biggest issues. So that's why early on in the season, I was a little bit more nervous with Alex Orji and the possibility of him playing, but they don't seem to want to let him throw the ball. So not as worried about that as I once was, but I still think Davis Warren, I think he gets a lot of flack for just being like absolutely terrible and outright awful and everybody. I've seen some throws this season from him to make me believe like he could be a competent quarterback. I think that Sharon Moore is a young coach and he had a really tough time with trying to, trust a quarterback for the entire season. So he played Davis Warren. Then he went out with Alex Orji, and then things looked okay with Alex Orji, but then when everybody figured it out, he couldn't go with him anymore. Then he went to Jack Tuttle, and Jack Tuttle, he shows why he was a career backup his entire, career. And then you go back to Davis Warren, and the offense looks better. So I don't know if it's true that Sharon Moore started calling plays again or not in that Northwestern game. Something changed. I don't know what they did in that bye week, but something changed. And I actually think that third down is going to be the most crucial part in this game because I don't think you need the big, huge runs that you've had the past few years. Like, I don't think you need that this year on offense. What you need is a spectacular performance from your defense, and then you need the offense to be able to stay on schedule. They need to be able to protect Davis Warren well enough, get the ball out of his hands quickly, scheme up some things, and then on third down, you throw the ball to Colston Loveland because Colston Loveland does a really good job of not pushing off, but creating separation for himself. And if he only needs 4 or 5 yards at the most, he can get that separation, and Davis Warren can put it enough in his vicinity to be able to pick up those third downs. That was something that I felt like was really underrated for you guys last year with JJ McCarthy is the play calling on third down. I felt like Sharon Moore did a really good job. JJ McCarthy had a really good handle on what Sharon Moore was calling, and they were able to pick up third downs like crazy. I don't know if I've seen that the entire season this year with Davis Warren, but we saw more of it against Northwestern, which again leads me to believe kind of the rumor going around that Sharon Moore's picked play calling back up. So biggest thing to me is, can they stay on schedule? Can they figure out a way to get in 4th and 3 or 3rd and 3, 3rd and 2 situations so that way they don't have to throw the ball, 10 plus yards? Because I think last game, Davis Warren, even though you guys put up 50 points, I think he only threw the ball 5 times, 10 plus yards. He threw the ball like 30 times, and only 5 of those were 10 plus yards. So it's like you got to put him in situations where he doesn't have to do that, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So I think JR just crushed that analysis, by the way. I don't even think there's much to say except big game Don is coming. That's what he does every single time this time of year.
Yeah.
Big game Don's coming. He's hunting for blood. He was getting warmed up against Indiana. He broke off a few large, it's this time of year, bro. There's something about this time of year where he gets into that mode. And here's where I do disagree with it. The only thing in JR's analysis that I disagree with is I think we do need big plays to beat you. I don't know if we can be consistent enough to have sustained drives, because you're right. If our team was capable of doing that, that would be the path to victory. But I think it's going to be similar to the 2022 game where those big plays are what really got us the victory. So hopefully guys can step up, whether it be a Khalil Mullins, a Donovan Edwards, a Colston Loveland, or one of these wide receivers decides to wake up and have a day. Because outside of that, this is obviously, this matchup here is critical. Now, the good news for us is we have a very good kicker who just got disrespected without not being put on the Lou Grozo Award list, which is insane because this is an NFL caliber kicker, whatever. But point is, this matchup, we got to be able to score. We have to get points. If we do not get points, I mean, obviously we know that, but this offense has got to get moving. And then to the Sharon Moore rumor, I don't know. But something was different. That offense was way more fluid. It had way more structure. It was just different. So hopefully, and that's the thing too, Jared. This is one of the things we've been talking about. if there was a moment in the season for us to play you guys, this is the best time for us because there's a lot of momentum with the program. The team actually looks like it's starting to come together. Wink looks like he's figuring it out a little bit. Sharon might be taking over play calling. Davis Warren's looking more comfortable. Some of the players are starting to show development. I mean, so if there's a time for this game, it is this week for us.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm with you on big game Don. I will say he does show up. Santa Claus shows up for Christmas. Given the presents out and everything. And I think that big game Don shows up in November, especially late in November, and in the playoffs. But here's the reality: we don't know yet about Colston Loveland, right? We know that. He's uncertain. Sharon Moore said, "Hey, we just listened to the doctors." Do I think that he's going to try to play? Yes.
F that. Give him a shot of the goods. Give him the Toradol. Give him the Toradol.
Give him the Aaron Rodgers juice.
It's too important.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would love to see him. And hopefully he's in there because he is a difference maker and the top receiver this year by far as a tight end, which is absolutely crazy. But that's where we're at. So
you guys in Penn State, you guys got the same strategy going on offense.
Hey,
it's just Colston Loveland's not running it out of the shotgun like Tyler Warren is.
Yeah. And I will say when we've speculated, is Sharon Moore calling plays? Is he not? I think that there's quite a bit of evidence that he did, right? And what is my evidence? My evidence is that it looked more balanced. It looked like there was more I formation with Bredesen blocking, which is one of Sharon's favorite things to do. You saw it all the time in 23. He did it again. He was also doing things like those concepts to Tyler Morris to get him more involved in the game than he had been. He likes doing the reverses. He likes doing just little things here and there, pop off the ball over to Tyler Morris. And he had the best game he's had in a while, double his usual productivity. So is there hope? Of course there's hope. But yeah, watch out on this one because Ohio State's defense might feast if we're not careful. So keys to the game. So I'm going to ask this. I always ask this to everybody, regardless of who's a dog, who's not. And especially with a rivalry game, you throw the book out, right? Yeah, Ohio State's a 20.5 favorite, but we've seen years where Michigan finds a way, and also vice versa. So anything can happen in this game. JR, what do you think the keys need to be for Ohio State to win at Columbus?
Yeah, I think it goes kind of what I was saying with the offense. They got to tire out Kenneth Grant and Mason Graham. They can't allow them to be the run stoppers they are the entire game, whether that's throwing screen passes to get them on the outside more or, having long sustaining drives that keeps them in for the entire game. I would love to see Ohio State run some tempo in this game to keep them in the game when they're moving the ball. I don't know if they'll do that. Ryan Day doesn't seem to want to do that. He wants to only get like 50 or 60 plays a game right now, which is kind of, maddening to me. But I think they need to do that. I think special teams needs to have another big play of some kind in this game just to make everybody feel better and kind of get that juice in the stadium. There were players commenting that the Caleb Downs punt return was the loudest they've ever heard the stadium be. There were fans that were commenting that was the loudest they had ever heard the stadium be. So if there can be something like that, that's going to be imperative for that to happen. And then the blitz packages have to work for Ohio State. They cannot afford to blitz, 8 men and put their DBs on an island. And then, who was it? Johnson in 2022 where he spins out of it to I don't even remember who that DB was, but he spins out of it and then he takes it 60, 50 yards, however far that was. That kind of stuff was just happening too much. Now, I think that we have much better DBs now than we used to, so I feel more confident in that. But you have to figure out a way. You can't just throw 8 guys in the backfield. You have to figure out a way to blitz guys, but also drop other guys back in coverage so that way you have some safety back there. And it's going to be imperative that Jim Knowles finds a way for that to work. But I think you guys' offensive line is still well coached. I think that it's been kind of a process going throughout the year. So a big thing is, can we get you guys to have to use that silent cadence like we made Indiana do that. If that happens again, I really like Ohio State's chances, especially on defense. I really like them looking for that cue of when the ball is about to be snapped, and then they get into their blitzing formation and go. But if there's a clap or anything like that, it's going to be harder to do that. So we'll see if the fans bring it or not.
Yeah. So my keys to the game are we got to pressure Will Howard. If we do not pressure Will Howard, it doesn't matter. The defense has got to get to Will Howard to get him uncomfortable. Also, the other key to the game here is you got to hold him to 3. They cannot get 7. I don't have the confidence in our offense to be able to go to. I definitely don't have confidence in this offense to go toe to toe with Ohio State. But to win this game, you have to hold them to 3 and not go and get 7. And then why? Like I stated, I don't have confidence in the offense going toe to toe. But if we win the turnover battle, we don't have to go toe to toe. We'll have more possessions then. And this is how we can take the advantage. So pressure Will Howard, hold them to 3, win the turnover battle. That is the key to victory.
Yeah. Winning the turnover battle is huge. Especially with some of the mismatches that are going into the game. Will Johnson playing would be absolutely amazing. But even players like Amir Hall, you've seen break out recently with an interception. You see, I think Zeke Berry's had some good moments, Hausman, things like that. So I think if Wink continues to make good decisions as he did last week, and Sharon Moore calls the plays, Michigan can pull it off. Obviously, for Ohio State to win, Chip Kelly needs to play call around the line issues, and I could see some Will Howard running some RPOs. I could see him using his legs because people need to realize that he is a threat to run the ball. He may not be Lamar Jackson, but he's a threat to run the ball, and you got to account for it every single play, right? So I think if Wink is able to account for all that, and a little bit of luck goes Michigan's way, then Michigan could pull it out. But luck is going to be needed. And so with that said, prediction time. JR, who you got? Who's winning this and what score?
Yeah, I think I know. You guys know who I got. I got Ohio State in this one. I'm going to predict that Ohio State, and this is not to be disrespectful at all, but this is just my honest
sounds
thought.
Disrespectful. See, whenever someone says it's not
it's going to be a blowout.
It's about to be pretty damn disrespectful.
I'm not trying to be, but if you guys take it that way, I'm not going to apologize too much. I'm going to predict Ohio State wins this one 35-9.
35-9?
Yep.
So we don't get one touchdown, huh?
I don't think so.
The disrespect.
We can get a touchdown and a safety. There you go.
Sure.
There you go. All right. So I don't mean to be disrespectful to our Buckeyes.
Yes, you do.
I got the score 34-17 Buckeyes. F you guys. We don't like you.
Yeah.
Hopefully we get the dub.
Yeah, Weekly Wax podcast sounds like he's predicting the win here. $1 for each win in a row come Saturday. Love that. Love Michael Jones giving a super sticker as well. My prediction, and everybody can put their prediction in chat here, and we'll spotlight some of your predictions as well. I'm going to predict Ohio State wins in Columbus 34-21. However, I was saying in the Mark Rogers chat a couple hours ago, I was like, I got about 10% that things might go crazy. The temperature is supposedly going to be in the 20s, which if there's snow, hey, it could be 2021. You never know. Anything can happen. But I do have 34-21 right now, Ohio State. So with that said, and let's see what everybody else has. 35-13. I'm assuming that's Ohio. Ruckman, 84-10 Michigan. Very exciting. Very strong.
Right. That's a lot of field goals.
Very strong.
I know Zavada's good, but man.
He's good. He's good, dude.
Newber, we got 31-28. Account 22, 24-20. Bleeding Blue, 28-24. So very exciting. some people sticking by the maize and blue. And look, like I said, anything can happen. But JR, I know you've got to go soon to do your stuff, but let everybody know where they can find you. Final thought, and where they can find you everywhere.
Yeah, you can find me on Twitter, JRS_rankings over there. I don't get too much into the beef on Twitter just because I don't really have time for it. But every now and then, if you
yeah, you take your shots, JR.
I was gonna say every now and then, if I'm feeling a little feisty, I might get into it and I might respond back. So we'll see. But I'm definitely no Garrison. He can wear the crown on that one for sure.
Who is?
You can also find me over on the Ohio State channel, do recruiting videos over there. So if you ever want to find out who I think Ohio State's going to get, sure, come on over. Would love to have you. And then the Big Ten Huddle, football and basketball over there. I actually have been covering you guys quite a bit in basketball just because my schedule's worked out to where they've been playing a good team. They played TCU that one night. They played Virginia Tech the other night. So
Yeah.
I've actually been doing some videos about them here recently. But
what do you think about what do you think about the basketball team?
I think the basketball team has potential. I think that Dusty May's getting it together. I would like to see Danny Wolf handling the ball a little less. I think Trey Donaldson is much better. But Dusty's a good coach. He's learning and growing, and I think the team will look better by the end of the season. Not that they look bad now, but they'll just look better.
Definitely better than the Juwan era already.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Already.
There we go. Well, JR, thanks so much for stopping by. I'll let you go prep for your next thing, go Blue, beat Ohio.
Yeah,
thanks for coming on, JR.
See ya. OH.
NO. You son of a. He tried to sneak. These
just
Buckeyes
sneaking
are sneaky,
it in,
bro.
Sneaking it in.
Like
absolutely.
Does he not see the background? It's blue. It's maize and blue, bro. What's he doing?
We do have another reasonable Buckeye here. We got a couple of them. We got Doreen in the house. Reasonable Buckeye, badass Buckeye, reasonable Buckeye, Garrison somewhere. So yeah, very, very exciting. And so yeah, let's do a couple of things. First of all, I want to encourage everybody to check out a brand new channel and a show every Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern. Ole Miss at the Voice of College Football. It is one of our newest channels in the network. You've got the live streams, you've got post-game shows, all kinds of good stuff. TJ, feel free to let us know a little bit more about it.
Yeah, this is one of our new channels in the network. We got our girls Ruby and Leanne who host the Ole Miss channel. Mark is also hosting from time to time. But yeah, I mean, it's our new channel. If you guys support the network, please support the Ole Miss channel. We're really trying to get it to monetization. These girls work really hard. Also, Leanne, who's a part of that, is going to be our recruiting analyst for the network in the coming weeks. So we're looking forward to that. So yeah, stay tuned. She's very tapped in. She visits players and coaches, and like she's a grinder, man. She works very hard. So shout out to them. Please help support that channel. We greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely. And also don't forget that Disputed National Champions is available on an Amazon near you. You can get it in paperback. You can get it on Kindle. Get yourself a copy. Learn about the 90s era of disputed national champions. And then through I think you'll like you'll be interested, maybe not like, but you'll be interested in the 97 chapter on Michigan, Nebraska. So check that out. And then we do have our friends at the Win Agency have another video for us. So they've got a couple of videos. This one is about Bryce Underwood, which I think makes perfect sense given we're about to talk about Bryce Underwood. So here we go with the Win Agency Bryce video.
Hey, Michigan fans, Lisa with Win Agency, and we are so excited about the latest recruiting news. Bryce, we are so happy you're staying home to play for the Maize and Blue, and we know you will continue to make us proud of our home football team. For those of you who need health insurance, we encourage you to follow Bryce's lead and work with the home team here at Win Agency. We only have until December 15th to get a January 1st effective date, so make sure you don't miss your signing day deadline. If your current agency is as friendly as Brian Kelly, give us a call here at Win Agency and let us help you out. Welcome, Bryce and friends, and go Blue!
Listen, you don't want a Brian Kelly. You don't want a Brian Kelly agent. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to go to the Ellison, Dave Portnoy type agents, the winners only. That is the Win Agency. Give them a call, check their website out, get a quote. They listen. Just reach out to them, see what they can do for you. They are the part of the winning team. They bleed maize and blue. Give them a call.
Yeah, I love that part. If your agency is as nice as Brian Kelly or as whatever it is, yeah, that's hilarious, and they're great, and they do a great job, and I love the theme videos, as things transpire.
Fun.
Very fun. And so speaking of Bryce, this is the first show since Bryce Underwood, number 1 quarterback, number 1 overall recruit, has decided that he's taking his talents to Ann Arbor, Michigan, for his college journey. So TJ, you've been talking about this for the better part of 17 hours on a couple of shows, but I will say, because I haven't had as much opportunity, so I'll just say that this is, like I said on when I stopped by Thursday after my networking event, in my suit, ran over to join the party. Monumental tectonic shift that this is going to cause, not just for himself, but for the recruits to follow, which we will cover. But from 2 years ago to now, what we've seen in NIL is incredible. We just recently received so Dave Portnoy recently talked about how he united with the Ellisons to help acquire Bryce Underwood, to pitch him on everything that Barstool could do. And then, of course, the Ellisons with their resources, both financial and intellectual resources that they're providing. So before we play the clip, any initial points on the Dave Portnoy and Ellisons of it all?
I mean, it's just here's what's beautiful, John. Anyone who's watched our show since the end of September, when we started telling you about the organization, the ambition, and the motivation of the donors, we were telling you guys this at the end of the end of September, and it is finally becoming transparent. You can see it; it's public. With Portnoy shared today, which we'll play the video here. It just sheds light on what is occurring behind the scenes at Michigan. The things that we were talking about, you're starting to see it come to light. In Michigan, and like we told you, Michigan is not effing around. They have a national championship standard. We saw Jolene's quote today, essentially saying, "I don't need credit. I want to stack national championships." Was probably one of the hardest quotes ever made in life. Like, just mad respect. And Portnoy is 100% on that as well. And then there's other donors like Lucy Gao and others who are also putting money into this. Like, Michigan's in a great position, and I got some people on X, like, where's the commits? With, like, just patience, guys. I can assure you it's coming. I can assure you that Michigan's going to be in a great spot, not only for the 25 class, the portal, and 26. Like, just enjoy the ride, okay, and enjoy the video, because this is if you have not seen this video, I know it's circulated on social media today. If you have not seen this video yet, it is about as hype as it gets.
Absolutely. Here we go.
It was trending worldwide when it happened. I think all the way up to 9. Everyone's like, "Oh my God, Dave got Michigan Bryce Underwood," and it all stemmed from the pick'em. When we were just talking, I said, I'm going to go get us a quarterback, and I'll put my own money, $2 to $3 million into this thing, and I'll make sure we have a quarterback, and this will never happen again. That started the ball rolling on what will be known forever as the Renaissance of Michigan. I got a call from the Michigan football team, right? And they said, "Hey, there's this donor who wants to talk to you." I said, "I'm doing this myself. I don't need to talk to anybody." They said, "Please. This woman's a big fan of Barstool, big fan of you. She'd love to talk to you. Her name is Jolene." Like, all right, yeah, listen, I'm working on quarterback. I'm studying the field. What are we going to do? They said, oh, her husband, by the way, is a guy by the name of Larry Ellison. You ever heard of him? I said, Larry Ellison, the number 2 richest guy on the planet? Yeah, I'll take that phone call. That night, we're on a Zoom. Me, Jolin, Larry Ellison. And we're talking, and I'm like, Larry, where'd you go to school? Oh, Illinois. Well, all right. Jolin, what about you? Michigan. Interesting. When'd you go to school? I believe she said the guy who didn't wear headsets.
Brady Hoke.
That era. Brady Hoke era. And she said, I never want to live that era again. We're the national champs. I have 2 kids. I can't stomach waking up on a Saturday knowing that we're not the best team on the field. I said, I'm with you. What do we have to do? What do we have to do? I know what we'll do. Let's set up a call tomorrow night with Bryce Underwood and his parents. And we talked and we pitched Bryce. I said, listen, first of all, Barstool and the marketing, but more importantly, Larry Ellison and Joel, and nobody can match this. This guy's a legend. And we pitched, but oh boy, Michigan's back. And I didn't know how it would come about or the role I would play. But Jolin, on that first phone call, she's like, I needed somebody to step up from Michigan and show that they cared as much as I did. And then it was like the mega powers uniting. Listen, and I knew it. I texted Jolin. I go, I'm like, it was before it was really known. It's like, I'm getting all this credit. I'm a little uneasy. She goes, I don't need the credit. I need national championships. I need to stack them. By the way, Black Friday, we have a quick Black Friday. We have a Bryce Underwood Barstool collab coming out in the store with him. Proceeds going to Bryce Underwood. So be on the lookout for that.
Boom, baby. What's up? And then if you watch the longer clip, so there's a longer clip to that video, John, where it's about 9 minutes. And essentially Portnoy talks about how they got unlimited funds. They are going after all the 5 stars. They are going after all the top players. They don't give a shit, bro. Like, they're on some reckless stuff. And what's hilarious, and I know if anyone is paying attention to some of these message boards in terms of, and what I mean by some of these message boards, I mean the LSU message boards, the Alabama message boards, these Southern schools, like, oh, NIL's a problem. We need to do something about this. Nah, suck it. Enjoy the L's. We're coming to take all of your recruits. We don't give a shit. And if you watch how Michigan is moving, which we're going to get into it, John, they are attacking all their top targets right now. Now, the one thing is there's only a week to do this. National Signing Day is next week. So there's a lot of things that need to happen. And one of the other things I want to stress is patience. Like, just they're not just going to announce things. There's going to be in my opinion, a strategic approach to some announcements for momentum purposes. Also, you got to understand they have 1 week to do this. A lot of the agents of these players are not in a rush. Like, they have a week. Why do it today? Why do it tomorrow? You know what I mean? Like, they're gonna weigh out their options, okay? Because deadlines create urgency, and that's what the agents are gonna try to capitalize on, especially when you start messing with these top players like this magnitude. So just have a little patience here, guys. I'm sure by our next Tuesday show, which, by the way, our next Tuesday show, John, is the day before National Signing Day. We should have a bunch of news for you guys.
Very exciting, and I love the kind of step by step that he goes into of like, oh, well, I want to do this on my own. But it's Larry Ellison who's worth $230 billion. Okay, I'll do that. I'll be part of that.
Yeah. I'll take that phone call.
Yeah. And
hey,
so
Larry, how we doing?
Yeah. So they did a Zoom. I love that they did a Zoom with Bryce. And I mean, imagine he's sitting there and remember, in addition to the full court press from Sharon, you had all the people coming into Belleville and to the high school games to cheer him on, the Michigan fans. You had this going on the side, the Zoom meetings with Portnoy and with the Ellisons, and you can see how this came together.
Yeah, you can now. You can now. And if you were rocking with us, you could now it's all coming together. You know, the other thing that's also interesting, John, is you know, like the reports have kind of come out that, and I know EJ just put out an article, I think yesterday or today, about LSU's offer being embarrassing compared to Michigan's. We told you that. We told you Michigan's offer was double, because it was. You know, no one had that shit. So because I've been getting a little flack lately, and I'm not liking it. But anyways, we did do our receipts yesterday. If you missed our receipts, check it out. We had a hell of a show yesterday. Thanks, shout out to the community for that one. But it's listen, Michigan. We also shared this also with you guys. Michigan was not going to be outdone for Bryce. It was a win at all costs situation. And also one of the things Portnoy talks about in the longer form of that clip is he essentially says him and the Ellisons were going through all the quarterbacks. They're like, oh, should we look at this one? This one. They were essentially car shopping, John. They're like, okay, you know, how about this one? No, this one. And they're like, no, it's got to be Bryce. Like, we got to hit a home run here. So, and they did it, man. They freaking did it. And it's so funny to also see the after, you know, I was watching some of the reaction videos by the LSU people, and they're just like, what happened? Clowns. Take that. But yeah, it's funny, man. Good for us, though. Good for us.
And I will say, related to that, when you talk about intel, and you talk about the fact that our members really heard before the media, put it public, our members heard what was going on as much as you were able to divulge, TJ, at our monthly members only hangout, which is $4.99 and higher. Go ahead and become a member here at the Voice of College Football Michigan channel. And we have 3 tiers, $2.99, $4.99, $9.99. And you could be part of the members only hangout at $4.99 and up. And get that intel first. Be first on the scene with us here at Michigan at the Voice of College Football. And with that said, there's been a couple of questions, TJ, in chat about Ty Haywood. And we all know that Derek Meadows has a Fong bomb and now a Sam Webb crystal ball. So walk us through some of these. All of them, but especially I think there's a lot of questions about those two in chat.
Yeah. So one thing I want to stress again is guys, there is so many new names. And remember, this was just 4 days ago he committed. So just, the momentum's just now picking up with a lot of these guys. But here's where we are. We're going to go through these one by one. Ty Haywood, the 5-star offensive tackle out of Alabama, looking to visit this week. He may have arrived today. I don't know. I do not know the status of any of the visits that are in terms of people who have arrived or not. Ty Haywood is looking to visit to Michigan. And now the one thing about this recruitment that is interesting is he may not commit early signing day. Okay. That said, I feel very good about this recruitment. I think Michigan is going to be the team to beat here. I think he really likes the idea of playing with Babalola and Underwood. I think he likes the idea of playing for Sharon Moore. And I know he likes the NIL deal that Michigan's offering right now. And get this, here's something that's crazy, guys. Alabama cannot match us. We are outbidding Alabama, bro. This is why I feel extremely confident about the Haywood situation. So yeah, I do feel like we are going to land Haywood. I feel pretty confident about this one. And this is why you have the Alabama fan base now saying NIL is a problem when they've been doing it for 40 plus years, bro. And they weren't complaining when Saban was getting all the players, right? Hilarious, bro. And on to our next player. So that's where I'm on Haywood, looking good. Our next player, Derek Meadows. Interesting development. There's 2 developments here that are very interesting. One, Alabama's pushing here, which is very interesting. That's a new name to the table. The other interesting development is apparently LSU's working to try and get him to visit this weekend. We'll see if that happens. That said, I feel good about Michigan. I have felt good about Michigan. I think there's reason for optimism for Michigan. I believe Meadows really wants to play with. Actually, I know Meadows wants to play with Underwood. And not only that, Crowell, the former head coach of Belleville, is actually one of Meadows' mentors and people of guidance yeah, there's a lot of connections here. There's a lot of smoke here. I also feel confident Meadows will be in the class for Michigan. So it's looking good there. The LSU visit's interesting, but I don't know, man. I don't know how if he goes, he doesn't go. I don't know, but like I don't know how they're gonna pull it off. We're gonna have to see. It's something we're gonna have to watch. Recruiting's wild, and like another thing, guys, when you start recruiting these high level players like this, ask Ohio State because they're going through it right now. They're losing players left and right now. You know this. We've talked. All it takes is a phone call. So we'll see though. I do have reason for optimism for Derek Meadows. It's looking good in my opinion. The next player that we have on here is Jerome Miles. And this is the name that I haven't really talked about a lot. Michigan's kicking tires here. There appears to be some reciprocated dialogue. We'll see where this goes. This is another player Michigan would love to have. We'll see where this goes, though. I would say this one's a bit sensitive because obviously he's committed to USC, and USC is starting to rally, and we're going to talk about that with Jakeem Stewart, which I know everyone's really looking forward to that. But yeah, so very interesting there. We'll see where that one goes. The next one's Quincy Porter. This one's also very interesting. You can see Michigan is trying to load up the offense and give Bryce as many weapons as possible and a portal quarterback that we actually, John, I didn't have on our list, but we should guess. It appears to me like there's going to be a high likelihood that we're getting a portal quarterback, and that portal quarterback I feel is, if you had to ask me today, I think it's going to be Miller Moss. We'll see though on that. To be determined, I suppose. We'll see if anything else shakes from there. And the portal's not. I think December 14th is when the portal opens up, so we'll have more info as it comes. But you can tell right now Michigan is trying to load up these skill positions. You have Derek Meadows, you have Jerome Miles, you have Quincy Porter. And for those who have been following recruiting or been watching us, Quincy Porter was somebody Michigan was heavily. There was even a moment where people thought Michigan led for Quincy Porter, but he did commit to Ohio State, and then he was going to go on a visit to Michigan. But Ryan Day literally, rumor has it, threatened his scholarship if he was to go on that visit. So he actually canceled his visit, and he did it like the day before the visit too. Ryan Day threatened that, and that's recruiting. It's a dirty game. It is what it is though. So Michigan's poking around right now, seeing if they can do anything about it. The next player we're going to hit on, John, is Isaiah Gibson. This is the number one edge in the nation, 5-star. This is the Georgia commit from Georgia that all the Georgia fans are saying, you're not pulling a dog out of Georgia. Well, guess what? Larry Ellison and Joe Lynn and Dave Portnoy don't give a fuck, bro. They're going to try and pull a dog out of Georgia, and there's currently discussions and dialogue with Isaiah Gibson. We'll see where this goes. It's a very interesting recruitment. I'll tell you this right now. If they are able to pull this off, hide your kids, hide your wife. Michigan's taking everybody. Taking everybody. I'm like, this is like all Madden difficulty. Okay, we're on some all Madden difficulty. We're trying to pull some crazy shit right now. This is like legendary Halo difficulty. You know what I'm saying? So like, Michigan does not care. Like they don't care who's like, they're going after everybody's girl, bro.
Hey, they're calling Sharon Mr. Steal Your quarterback. So
yeah,
anything's possible. Top tier reference, by the way. I like that.
Yeah. So then we got Javion Hilson. This is the Coca, Florida, Brady Hart teammate edge. I think he's the number 3 edge in the nation, something along those lines. Definitely ranked number 42 in the nation. He visited this weekend, John. And from my understanding, that visit went great.
Okay.
This is another one where I feel very good about Michigan's position here. And I'm pretty optimistic about where it's trending. I think Javion Hilson is looking to be a maize and blue Michigan Wolverine, bro. I really do. And this would be a very nice get for Michigan. You already have Julius Howie at the edge position. You had Javion Hilson. That's an excellent one too. And listen, we already talked about Michigan still swinging for some of these other edges, and we're going to talk about another edge right here, Damian Shanklin. This is the other edge that news broke, I think, by Rivals. Was it like a day or two ago that they've reached out to him to just gauge interest? We'll see on that. I do think Michigan has other guys higher on the board than Shanklin. Obviously Gibson, Hilson. I think those guys are kind of higher priorities. I also think Mathis is a higher priority, the former Ohio State decommit, who is another player we're going to hit on next. So yeah, I think it's interesting though. And it goes to show you can see right now, if you look at this, they're targeting wide receivers, they're targeting edge guys, they're targeting defensive line. It's very interesting. In offensive line, we know this with the Haywood. So we'll see what they do with it. And we're going to hit on here, John, Zaire Mathis. This is the Ohio State decommit. The other thing that's also very interesting that I think plays into Michigan's favor is he is not going to make a decision until February. That gives Michigan a lot of time to get him on campus. And from my understanding, they are very interested in Zaire Mathis. So we'll see what they do here. Would be a hell of a victory over Ohio State if they're able to pull this off. It's going to be very exciting to see where this goes. Out of all the players we listed here, John, and if you were able to like catch what I was saying, there's 3 of them I feel really good about. The rest we're going to have to let play out and let time occur. We're going to find out, obviously, within 1 week, John, the outcome or the results of these recruitments.
Absolutely. And before we get to our next crop, this is all very exciting, by the way, and it definitely speaks to Michigan's new mentality of not giving a fuck, going for everybody. Why not? YOLO swag, and fit, all the money that is being thrown at this now. It's what I was hoping for at the very beginning of NIL. It just took 2 years, but this is what I was hoping for, is that Michigan was going to be able to play and in some cases do better than the longtime SEC powers with all that money. So GT, continuing with the hide your kids, hide your wife. Y'all need to watch that video if you haven't seen it. It's hilarious. Deep cut there. Hide your D's, hide your wide receivers. Michigan's grabbing everybody up there. We'll just leave it there. But listen to the video; it's really funny. So yeah, I mean, absolutely true, GT, and yes, absolutely YOLO swag. And Marmar also agreeing, facts YOLO. So let's hit this next crop, and we've been talking about players like Bradley Gompers and Owosso Boateng for a while. What's going on there? Walk us through some of these.
Yeah, I'm going to hit on Jakeem Stewart, John. I didn't hit Jakeem Stewart.
Oh, Jakeem. Okay.
Which is a big one. It's a big one for everybody because the reason why it's so big is because last night, I believe, Rivals predicted Jakeem Stewart to go to USC. And then today, the closer, Will Fong, put in a Fong bomb for Jakeem Stewart to go to USC. And the thing that's interesting here is Michigan is pushing for a visit this week for him. We watched, so anyone who, again, watched the Receipts show we did yesterday, Jakeem Stewart was essentially a player that we all unanimously said is a must get for Michigan because this dude is a savage on the field. He's incredibly good. So we'll see if Michigan can counter. Just because they're crystal ball doesn't mean it's over. But here's what matters. He has to visit to Michigan. If he does not come to visit to Michigan, it's not going to matter. The other thing that's pretty critical here and very interesting, as great as Michigan's NIL is, and as much as I'm thinking of the Portnoy video because there's more to it that's just hilarious. But like Michigan, Portnoy is essentially saying we're buying everybody, we don't give a shit. But USC has an incredibly strong NIL offer. It's not just financial either. It's kind of like the thing about Jakeem Stewart is he plays on the Thanos character. He likes Thanos. Well, guess who's working with USC on his NIL deal?
Who's that? Marvel? Wow.
Yes.
How about that?
That is why you see these crystal balls, because the NIL deal is so unique and also very aggressive. That's why you're seeing these NIL pitches or these crystal balls from not only Rivals but On3, Steve Wolfong. So Michigan, we are going now. And this is another one, just like the one I talked about with you guys, where we were going to see what happens with Isaiah Gibson. Are they able to pull a dog out of Georgia? Well, if you're able to get this kid from USC after the pitch they're giving him, who he loves Thanos, and it's not just it's the Marvel branding and all of that stuff. If you're able to pull Jakeem Stewart, shoot, then it don't matter. So we'll find out. I mean, is it possible? Does Michigan have a ton of NIL that they're going to be able to get a lot of the players they want? Yes, but are you going to get absolutely every target? You win some, you lose some, man. And we'll find out if this is one of the ones we lose. We'll find out. And then our boy Juju says north of $5 million in terms of this NIL package. Yeah, that is the number that appears to be circulating right now. It is a $5 million NIL offer to Jakeem Stewart. It's a heavy hitter. So we'll see where it goes. And if he does not make the visit to Michigan, it's done. If he makes it to Michigan, we'll see if Michigan can swing it.
$5 million had to do it.
Exactly, bro. And then so our next prospect here is Bradley Gompers, a personal favorite for me. Michigan tried to get him to visit this weekend. It didn't happen. I think he might have had like a practice or a playoff, something to do with that. It didn't quite happen. They're going to see if they can get him to visit. Kiyoki, shout out Kiyoki, our boy.
Kiyoki's here.
Hey, shout out to Micah. Hell yeah, man. And then so we're going to see if Bradley Gompers comes to visit Michigan this week or Sunday. So just a heads up, the visit period for Michigan this until signing day is going to be the rest of this week. Obviously, they have a road game, Ohio State. That won't be a visiting day, but Sunday is. And Sunday is going to be the last day before the dead period before National Signing Day. Michigan needs to be closing. We'll see what players visit. Now, we won't have a show until Saturday, so maybe we'll have some updates for you guys on Saturday. Hopefully after an Ohio State or a Michigan victory over Ohio State, we'll see what the boys can do. But I do think Bradley Gompers likes Michigan. I know Penn State's trying to push here. He is committed to Duke. We'll find out where it goes. If I had to, so I am leaning Michigan here. I'm leaning Michigan. I think Michigan can pull it off. We'll see though. Our next player is a personal favorite for our boy Moose, and it is Owasu Boateng. Moose might actually die a happy man if we land a Owasu Boateng. He might not be able to watch Underwood next year, but he would die a happy man. Owasu Boateng is another savage. Both him and Gompers are dogs, no doubt about it. Owasu Boateng's taken his recruitment all the way to National Signing Day on the 4th. It is definitely a Michigan-Colorado battle. Notre Dame's out of the picture, which is good for us. But Colorado's doing their best to make a move here. I also am leaning Michigan right now. I am leaning Michigan. I think Michigan can close on both Gompers and Owasu Boateng, which would be just epic. That'd be just so strong for that linebacker room with a Chase Taylor. Yeah, I like that a lot. We'll see where it goes though. We have a week, and I'm going to tell you guys. And if anyone's followed our show and you've watched the Owasu Boateng recruitment, he loves the process, man. He really loves he's one of the kids who like just enjoys every minute of it, and he's going to use it to his advantage. And like I told you guys, agents are going to use this week as an opportunity to get the most for their players. We're going to find out where this goes. And when you start dealing with these top dogs like this, prices go up. So we'll see what the deal is. I'm not saying that's the case for Owasu Boateng, but you know, when you were declaring you are December 4th, you're making an announcement December 4th. I mean, it's quite clear that you're going to take it to the clock. And when that happens, things happen. Our next player here, John, is Grayson Littleton. Michigan has contacted him, but there hasn't been much of anything from that. One thing I will say though, that I haven't touched on any of our updates so far, John, there is 100% a guarantee that Michigan is talking to players we don't know about, because they are being very delicate with their approach, even though there's all these names we have, and we have a lot of them, but they're being very careful with their approach because they are really trying to hit some home runs right now, and they want to close this class very strong. And so it wouldn't surprise me. It doesn't mean just because we're not hearing anything on Grayson Littleton, there's not traction. There very well could be traction. It's just there's not anything at the moment. Grayson Littleton, for those who were not following along, Grayson Littleton is the former Clemson commit who decommitted just to visit Michigan. He literally decommitted to visit Michigan, but he went to Texas because of the stability. Well, we got Bryce Underwood now. We have a program that is loading up on talent, looking for players like Grayson Littleton to come join the class, come play with Shamari Earls, come play with Jaden Sanders, have an elite cornerback room. This is a player Michigan's trying to get. The other player that is our next player is Alex Graham. He's the local product, former IMG player who transferred back to Michigan this year. He's been healthy. He's played well. Michigan wants him in the class. This is the other player, and I told you guys, I told anyone who's watched us for a while, I've told you this since August, and I'm sticking with it now. I feel Alex Graham is going to end up in this class, and Alex Graham's a very good player. So looking forward to seeing the result. We'll see if I was right or wrong there, but I do think Michigan's doing a really good job with Alex Graham. So we'll find out with that. We'll find out the result on that one. And then here's one that's very interesting, John.
Is this DJ Pickett?
This is DJ Pickett.
Woo! Number 3 in the nation
Yeah.
of cornerbacks. That's very exciting.
Yeah. So this is the number 3 player, or the number 3 cornerback in the nation. Okay. This is also a player who is in the LSU class. So he's very aware of who Underwood is, right? This is what's interesting about this recruitment. His mom is a former Michigan alum. His family is actually from the state of Michigan. It just so happens to be Thanksgiving, John. And you know what you go do on Thanksgiving, don't you? You go see family. So guess who's going to be in the state of Michigan this week? DJ Pickett. Guess who's trying to get DJ Pickett to come visit their school this week?
Hey, Michigan. Hey, Michigan. Look at that. Look at that.
So we'll see. We'll see if they are able to get him on campus and make a move here. And you know who is not too far from the campus of Michigan, John?
Who's
Bryce
that?
Underwood.
Hey, Bryce Underwood. You think he might be a little link up there?
Yeah.
All right.
Very much
all right.
So from my understanding, Bryce Underwood is in contact and trying to recruit a lot of these guys. Bryce Underwood has his recruiting hat on, and he's putting in work from my understanding. So I feel Michigan could make a move here if they can get him on campus. We'll find out. And I'll tell you guys, if they land DJ Pickett, oh my goodness, bro, this dude is an athletic freak. He'd be a hell of a get for the class. And then lastly, we have the safety, Jordan Young. Michigan. This is another player where Michigan is reaching out, getting dialogue. It appears to be reciprocated. It appears Michigan's trying to make a poll here, and so Jordan Young would be a safety. This is the only safety that I have right now that Michigan's contacting. We're gonna find out of all these players, John. I mean, how many is it? We just talked about. I got it right here. We just talked about 15 guys, John. And that's not 15. Even all of them. Like there is honestly more that's not public.
Yeah, this is very exciting.
One of the names we gave tonight, John, really isn't that public. And I've been withholding it since Thursday.
Well, look, I think it's I think, like I said, I think this is very exciting. And Michigan is playing offense, which is what we had been screaming for back a long time ago. And now they're doing it. They're playing offense instead of defense. They're going after everybody, and they're not going to hit on every single one, but they're going to hit on a decent amount of these, I think, with the NIL approach that they have now. And so it's very exciting. And watch this space, because that's why we don't feel too stressed about the game. If Sharon pulls it off, it'll be the funniest thing ever. And if Ohio State wins, well, that's expected. Like, that's supposed to happen when you're up against the Ohio State is the #1 defense in the country, and Michigan has the 128th offense. That's supposed to happen.
And listen, they didn't spend over $20 million in the offseason to not have a good team this year. They have a very good team. We'll see where it goes. I wanted to hit on our boy Juju's asked about Taz Williams. So the reason why I haven't really hit on Taz Williams is because it's very public, his interest in Michigan. I don't believe it's currently mutual. I think Michigan has, and actually I'm quite confident because we just talked about a bunch of them. They have bigger fish that they're chasing right now. So I think that's kind of where Michigan is. We already have 3 wide receivers committed to the class. I don't think Michigan's going to pursue Taz Williams. I do think Taz Williams is a pretty solid prospect, though, but I just think these other prospects are a bit higher. And then also, John, I guess I'll close it out here. I think Michigan's going to, for sure, have a top 5 class, and I think they're going to be pushing for top 3.
Yeah, top 5 I think is pretty much a lock.
Currently 9. Currently
Yeah.
9.
Yeah, I think with some of the ones that we know are coming, I think top 5 is a lock, and top 3 would be incredible. I mean, that would be amazing. Would love that. But yeah, we'll see what happens. I think it's very exciting, and watch this space, because as things transpire, we'll let you know. Now, obviously, we have this thing called Thanksgiving coming up, so there won't be a call-in show Thursday. That's why we had the receipt show that TJ did Monday night because of Thanksgiving. However, we will have the post-game show coming up here Saturday after the game, which should be very exciting, TJ.
Yeah, absolutely. Regardless of the outcome, it's gonna be a great show, because it always is. Our post-game show is nuts. It goes a very long time. It essentially, it's like a 5-hour minimum post-game show. The community comes through. We listen, regardless of the outcome, we talk about it. We deal with it. And listen, if it turns into, if we get a positive result, it's gonna be a hell of a show. If it's not a positive result, well, guess what? We got signing day to talk about. We got a bowl game to talk about, which, by the way, it's pretty interesting. Did you see, give an update on that, John? Did you see the bowl game they're now projecting us to?
Which one is it now?
So apparently Music City Bowl wants to get Nebraska.
Okay.
Because they think Nebraska is going to be a better poll. Crazy. Wow. So now the bowl that apparently is going to be has interest in Michigan is the Pinstripe Bowl.
Oh, fun. Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see what happens. But yeah, the post-game show, John, should be pretty epic. Plus, it's our last one of the regular season. Let's have a fucking show, bro.
Now, here's my question. Would that change in the unlikely event that Michigan beats Ohio State?
100% it would. Yeah, because we get into a higher caliber bowl for sure.
So anything's possible.
Hey, you never know. Hey, in the multiverse, it's happening somewhere.
That's right. There's at least one possibility out there among many that Michigan beats Ohio, and I think it's more than one out of the millions. So a little bit more than in Avengers.
I agree.
We also do want to remind everybody that the college football show with Mark Rogers also is Thursday, Friday, Saturday post game. And Sunday, 11 a.m. Eastern. I don't know if that'll be abridged for the Thanksgiving holiday or not, but that is your standard schedule for the voice of the Mark Rogers Voice of College Football main show. And with all that said, we are at our kind of wrap up point here. I do want to obviously thank everybody for being part of this show in any way that you are, whether it's commenting, whether it's liking, whether it's subscribing. Hit that like button if you haven't. There's a crap load of people in here. Hit that like button if you haven't. It just takes a second, catapults this thing. But yeah, really appreciate everybody for whatever you did. Contributions, likes, anything. We have, like we always say, we have one of the best communities in Michigan football, period. Working on the GoFundMe, obviously with Kinetic. That was dope. That was absolutely dope. That Kinetic's GoFundMe went nuts because of our community. So that's what we're doing here, man. That's what we're doing.
Yeah, and a quick update, John. We have officially surpassed the 500 subscriber milestone to catching Miami. I believe we're at 480 now, and if it's not 480, it's 490. So we're only 480 or 490 away from catching Miami. Shout out to you guys for subscribing. Greatly appreciate it.
Wow. Look out, Mario. We're coming for you.
We're coming.
So TJ, give us your final thoughts and let us know let us know what's up.
Dude, my final thoughts, and I mean this so much, man. We're good, bro. Like, Michigan's gonna be all right, man. It's gonna be all right. It's like if the Portnoy video today did not give you the confidence that the program is in a health, like even Portnoy himself said, like he is so confident about this program and its direction. You know, it's going to be in a great spot. Now I know there's some things on the horizon, like coaching, things like that. I will say this though, I will give an update. So I was talking about an offensive coordinator name I was hearing. I'm now hearing a new name. So I'm going to sit my ass back on this now because I don't know who the hell it's going to be. Because now I got two names. And there can only be one.
There could only be one OC unless they go unless they bring them both in co-OCs. Yeah. But I doubt it.
And it's from the same guy who gave us the Underwood update last week. And it's one of my news sources that I'm kind of experiencing. I'm trusting a little. We'll see where it goes. But we'll see, man. But I think the program's in a great spot. Let's see how they do with closing. We got National Signing Day literally in 1 week. Let's fucking go, bro. And then, hey, hopefully the boys come to play Saturday, man. Win, lose, whatever the outcome is, we're here for it Saturday. We're looking forward to it. Oh, also, you can find me on X, TJ_Ronin. Get at your boy. Get at John. Give us a follow. My X is actually kind of blowing up right now, which I greatly appreciate it. We're having some fun. And man, I'll tell you this, though. You want to the one negative to a growing social media account? You started tracking the damn Buckeyes, bro. I got the Buckeyes on my account talking that ish. But I know Marmar, if you're watching right now, Marmar's always hitting them all with sticks. He said, get the hell out of here. He's always telling them, get the fuck out of here. But yeah, I mean, it's wild. That's the one downside to social media is once you get a larger account and you start hitting that algorithm, the rivals start coming.
Hey, Marmar even said it himself. He gets active. Okay,
Yes,
Marmar gets active, so he doesn't mess around.
Hey,
okay, when the Buckeyes come, he comes right. He goes right back,
and he don't back down, bro. He does not back down.
There
Marmar
it is.
don't play. Facts. Hey, they know Marmar. You let them know. I see it. I see your debates.
And you can follow me on X at John Diadamo. I talk about college football. I also talk about other things. Sometimes NFL. Sometimes the events industry, sometimes other stuff. Check it out on X and give me a follow and we can chat. We can DM, especially if you're in the Connor Stallions espionage tier. But yeah, check us out. And until next time. Oh, and thanks to the Win Agency. We don't want to forget the Win Agency. Thank you to the Win Agency for sponsoring today's episode and a lot of our episodes this season. And until next time, go Blue.
Hey, go Blue.